and welcome to Feed and Grain Chat. I'm your host, Elise Schaefer, editor of Feed and Grain. This edition of Feed and Grain Chat is brought to you by Watt Global Media and feedandgrain.com. Feedandgrain.com is your source for the latest news, product, and equipment information for the grain handling and feed manufacturing industries. Today, I'm joined by Paul Winters, Director, Public Affairs and Federal Communications for Clean Fuels Alliance America. He's here to update us on the EPA's delays in finalizing the 2026 renewable fuels standard volumes. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining me today.
I appreciate the invitation, Elise.
Absolutely. First, can you tell us about Clean Fuels Alliance America's case against EPA and why it's so important for soybean growers in the broader biofuels industry?
Absolutely. So the Renewable Fuel Standard program sets required volumes for fuels like biodiesel, renewable diesel, and even sustainable aviation fuel in the U.S. transportation system. So the rules are intended to come out well ahead of the year to which they apply. And that's to give farmers the signal to plant the biofuel crops that will be, and it gives biofuel producers the signal to invest and to plan for crop purchases as well as other investments to meet these standards. It's very important that EPA pay attention to the deadlines. Statute requires EPA to give notice at least 14 months ahead of the year to which these volumes will apply. So for 2026, EPA, under the law, was required to establish the 2026 volumes by November 2024. And EPA still has not even proposed rules for 2026. So now we're at the end of March. Farmers are making their planting decisions already for the fall 2025 and then going into 2026. And they're doing so in the dark. It's really hampering growth and investment in biofuel production.
Can you explain how delays in EPA's renewable fuel standard decisions impact the ag supply chain from crushers to feed mills to farmers?
The soybean crush industry has invested billions of dollars, more than $6 billion, to increase domestic processing capacity. And that's in reaction to some of the trade conditions that have occurred over the past 5 to 10 years. And it's also to meet the rapid scale up of renewable diesel production that's been occurring over the past 2 years. EPA should be taking into account that investment, that production capacity, the availability of domestic feedstocks, and providing a signal to the marketplace that the renewable fuel volumes will support that investment and make room in the market for the fuels that result from all that investment. Instead, they've been delaying the rules, and that creates uncertainty for both farmers and for the soybean processors. It creates uncertainty for the biofuel producers. The volumes that EPA set in 2023 simply were out of step with all this investment and all the plans for production capacity we knew were on board. It's really impacting the price that farmers receive for soy oil and for soy meal even today. It's important for EPA to meet the deadlines for the renewable fuel standard rules to ensure the market that these investments and planting of soy is going to pay off for the industry.
So, how can stakeholders across the agriculture supply chain support efforts to hold EPA accountable?
Meeting with your members of Congress, your senators, there's a time period in mid-April where legislators will be in their home districts for a period of 2 weeks. They'll be holding town hall meetings, engaging with them there and explaining the importance of the renewable fuel standard and timely rules will help them come back to Washington and convince EPA, get this program back on track. To EPA itself would also be helpful. And you can visit cleanfuels.org. We have a tool on our website called Become an Advocate. There's a simple message right on our webpage there that you can fill out your information, put in your own comments, and send a message directly to EPA telling the importance of timely rules and robust volumes for biodiesel and renewable diesel that support farm production and soy processing.
Now, looking ahead, what upcoming decisions should our viewers keep an eye out for in 2025 that could affect the biofuels landscape?
The most important one will be when EPA proposes the 2026 volumes. We hope that it will come sometime in May, and that would be a sufficient timeline to get the final rule in place by November of this year. We anticipate that it should also include volumes for 2027. If EPA proposes rules in May that are accurate and robust enough for biomass-based diesel, biodiesel, renewable diesel, it will send a positive signal to the marketplace. If they continue to lowball our industry, then it's going to send a negative signal to the marketplace. So it's very important now, ahead of that rule proposal, to reach out to EPA, to reach out to Congress, and make sure that they understand the importance of this issue.
Well, we certainly will be looking forward to hopefully a May decision. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today, Paul.
Thank you, Elise.
That's all for today's Feed and Grain Chat. If you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for the Industry Watch Daily e-newsletter, or go to feedandgrain.com and search for videos. Thank you again for joining, and we hope to see you next time.